Okay, we start our first segment. We're very thrilled to have, I've met her before, but she's a terrific person, Howie Diamond, who is on City Council member. And first of all, welcome to the show and Happy New Year. We're thrilled to have you on the show.
First of all, thank you so much for having me and inviting me to come tonight. I'm glad we had an opportunity to sit down and chat, and Happy New Year to both you as well as all of your viewers and your team here. It's a wonderful way to start the year, to sit here and talk about some of the great things that are going on in the city, and we can talk about any of the issues that you want to discuss. But it's a wonderful way to start the year, I would agree.
Absolutely, and I think a great place to start is go a little history. Is that the City Council in general, going past the 10 years, faced a tremendous challenge dealing with Hurricane Sandy. So much rebuilding had to be done. First and foremost, the city did, I think, a magnificent job getting back our boardwalk, built it bigger and better. But so many of the houses had to be raised, businesses like the movie theater had to be rebuilt. So talk about the City Council's role in the rebuilding of Long Beach and the comeback of Long Beach after Hurricane Sandy.
Sure, absolutely. I think there's since Hurricane Sandy, all of the members of the City Council have participated in ensuring that the rebuilding and the recovery, both for individuals as well as the city as a whole, has taken place, and that we've provided everything that we can to our residents in ensuring that takes place. But look, it's an ongoing process, and while the members of the City Council who were there at the time took a number of steps to ensure that process kind of got started and we moved along, and there's no mistaking the incredible recovery that the city has had. I mean, you just have to look at the boardwalk. You look at the businesses that have opened up on the boardwalk. Now you can go to the boardwalk and have food and enjoy an opportunity to see what wonderful things the city has to offer. So those are the things that was initially done, but the process continues. Just recently, over the past couple of years, the Army Corps of Engineers project and the beach rebuilding. Millions of dollars have been spent on rebuilding the jetties and replacing the jetties to ensure that the erosion that has taken place was either stopped or paused, and that additional projects have, over the last summer, we had the beach replenishment. And I know it posed a lot of challenges throughout the summer as we had to kind of maneuver through the beach during a wonderful beach season, but the outcome is unmistakable. The beach is incredibly resilient, and as we see storms coming more and more regularly, we realize that we need that protection. And it doesn't stop just on the beach side. The city recently, within actually the last month or so, entered into an agreement with the town of Hempstead to purchase the small piece of property that's along the bayfront to begin the critical infrastructure project. Because as you know, when you go over the bridge entering into Long Beach, a lot of the infrastructure that serves both the city as well as the town of Hempstead is there. There's gas lines, there's the Long Island Railroad entrance into the city is there. So all of those things, and the water department, the sewage department, and I think we saw during Sandy how critical it is that that infrastructure remains stable and is protected. So the city is just entered an agreement with the town, and it's funded through the state, the repairing and building barrier, and we're going to put up the bulkheading along that whole entire strip to ensure that critical infrastructure remains protected in case of a storm. But in addition to that, in addition to protecting just the infrastructure, we also will be putting in a number of different protections to ensure that the roadways around there, we all know that Pine Street continuously floods, and there's a number of different pumps and different barriers that are going to be part of this project to ensure that the street flooding is mitigated as well. So we'll be protecting the infrastructure, the Long Island Railroad entrance, as well as the streets and the homeowners who live there and call that part of Long Beach their home. So we need to look, it's an ongoing project, but we're taking steps to ensure that those things are taken care of, both on the beach and on the bay side.
Excellent. And one thing that always comes up that we should talk about is the city budget. It's an ongoing problem. You guys, City Council, are faced with making some tough decisions. It's not easy laying off employees and having cuts in tough areas. Talk about the responsibility and the challenges faced with balancing the budget and dealing with the budget issues that are so prominent on so many people's mind here in Long Beach.
Sure. I think that municipal budgeting throughout the state, probably the country, but certainly here on Long Island, is a challenge everywhere, on the county level, the town level, the city level, villages. I think that any time we have rising costs, yet we don't want to burden the taxpayers anymore, but we also want to maintain all of the services. The city of Long Beach provides its residents with incredible police services, fire services, first responder services. Our sanitation, our water department is unmatched, and our workforce is probably one of the best to ensure that we really do provide a great service to our residents. With that said, there are of course challenges that we face. Just as individual people's budgets are expanding and costs go up, costs in healthcare, costs in even just purchasing anything goes up, we have to find a way to ensure that we continue to provide the services, but obviously we're not going to do that on the backs of our employees as well. So there is a difficult balance that anybody needs to find, that all municipalities and all elected officials and appointed officials need to ensure that you continue to provide services, but at the same time, you can't do it just on the backs of the taxpayers. So there's a number of different ways that you can go about that. You have to be innovative, you have to be creative and find new sources of revenue, and also expand our tax base and ensure that we encourage folks to both move to Long Beach, to invest in Long Beach, to open. I know you said you have a segment coming up on some new businesses that opened up in the West End. That's actually a great way of ensuring that we expand our tax base, encourage people to come and shop and settle and invest in our city. And that's how you go about it's finding creative ways. So you can't turn automatically to the taxpayers, certainly not employees, because the employees provide us a service as well. And in the city of Long Beach, we are very blessed with a great workforce, all of it from top to the bottom. So you can't automatically, but it is a challenge that I believe every municipality is facing. So as a city council, and each individual member needs to look for creative ways to bring revenue into the city, whether it's through, like I said, encouraging businesses, finding new sources of revenue, and making sure that we're doing what we can, and any excess that we can do, like everybody can tighten their belt and ensure that all of the programs and projects and services are being efficiently run, and finding new and efficient ways to do things. But at the same time, you do certainly need to ensure that with a rising cost of services, a rising cost of running a municipality of our size, I mean, we can't forget the city of Long Beach provides an incredible amount of services for a small municipality. So all of those things need to be provided, and they need to be provided well, but it comes at a cost. So we need to find ways, and the members of the city council regularly, particularly during budget season, discuss different sources of revenue that we can find, and creative ways to ensure that we are able to continue to provide those services.
Okay. Sure. Excellent. One thing that has been on the minds for a lot of Long Beachers is that I personally felt that Jack Schnurman did an excellent job as city manager. I think when he took over the job, Long Beach was on the brink of bankruptcy. He worked with the city council, and a lot of good decisions were made, and things were turned around. But the search has seemed to be taken ever since Jack, took on a new challenge to be the controller. It's taken a long time to find his permanent replacement. What's the current status of the search for finding a permanent replacement for Jack Schnurman at the city manager?
Sure. So I think just for the viewers, our former city manager had been here for a number of years and was recently elected Nassau County Comptroller. So he left the position a number of months ago, and look, the city is in great shape. The recovery is unmistakable. So what I think that, look, it's a difficult position. It's running an entire city. Obviously, the city council does it along with him or her, but it's a large responsibility for an individual, and I think the members of the city council are taking the necessary time to ensure that we find a person who is the correct person for that job. I know it's a slow process and frustrating at times for, probably, I don't want to speak for the other members of the council, I'll speak for myself, but it can be a frustrating process that takes a long time, and we've been close to making decisions, but there seems to be certain challenges that have posed themselves. With that said, the city is running. We have an acting city manager who continues to do a great job. The city services are being provided. But yes, we're continuing the search for a city manager, and it's an important position that needs to be filled and quickly. But yes, it has taken us quite a long time. But I do think that it's part of ensuring that the correct person has the position, since it really is an incredibly important position.
Absolutely. One thing I always felt that would be, it's always a challenge for the city council and Long Beach in general, is that Long Beach is booming in the summertime, but things halt to a crawl in the wintertime. What's the challenge of helping the businesses and bringing in more activity where things could be a little more active, especially in the West End during the tough winter months? Because I really feel for the businesses and the residents when November kicks in and winter hits in Long Beach. It really is a hard time for especially businesses to survive the tough winter months in Long Beach, because let's face it, Long Beach we are a summer community.
Absolutely. There's no mistaking that during the summer months, we certainly have more people who come and enjoy our beach, and the city relies on that revenue in particular. But there are a number of things that take place. Look, we just finished a beautiful holiday season. Our city workforce did an incredible job of putting up beautiful lights throughout the city. I think that those types of things are very important. A lot of people came to the city to see the lights on the boardwalk, and when they come and see the lights on the boardwalk, they stay and maybe have dinner or walk around or visit some of the new shops, in particular on the West End that we've seen come. Look, the city has a number of different programs, and I would encourage anybody who's listening to go to the city's website and look at in the Park and Recreational Centers section of the website. There's a number of different programs that are open to almost anything that you want to do. You can learn how to hula hoop, you can swim, you can join one of the teams, and there's always the ice rink. I mean, people can come. People don't think that a summer beach city would have an incredible ice arena for so many people to enjoy, but it's a great afternoon for you to come with your family and potentially stay for dinner. But I think the city can partner with small businesses to do all sorts of different programs throughout the winter and fall months where it's not the booming beach season, but that it still is a way to encourage folks to come. We have different festivals. For example, the city runs the Fall Festival every year. There's all different races. There's a race that took place over the Thanksgiving holiday week. So there's a number of different things that the city can do to bring people, and we partner with the Chamber of Commerce on a number of those things to ensure that we bring folks and that folks are aware of all of the things that the city has to offer throughout all 4 seasons.
Okay, we're enjoying our interview with Howie Diamond, who is a city councilman. So I'm not going to put you on the spot. What made you become interested in wanting to get into politics and to be a part of the city council? What was the driving force and motivation that said, you know what, I can do this, I can get elected to the city council? What was the motivation behind you wanting to get involved and make a difference here in Long Beach?
Sure. So throughout my, probably since almost my entire adult career, I've been active throughout the community. I think that there's all sorts of ways people can serve the community. They can become part of organizations. They can be active on political campaigns, which I have done probably since I was in high school, which was a very long time ago. And there's a number of different ways that we can anybody can choose to benefit the community and also be fulfilled personally as well. So I had done it initially not as an elected official. I had been active in all sorts of different organizations, both locally, whether it was religious organizations, larger organizations, and people find things that they care about. And then there are opportunities that present themselves, and you have a way to serve the community differently. And I believed at the time that I could take all the skills that I had developed as an attorney, being involved throughout the community, and use it in this very specific way. And being an elected official, while challenging, is you get to do some great things for the community and really help people throughout the community. And it's very fulfilling. So thank you.
I was going to say, would you describe this as an enriching, fulfilling experience, and how has the city council, and how has being a member of the city council changed your life for the better?
So yes, it can be very challenging and time-consuming, but it's as I mentioned, it is incredibly fulfilling when you are able to do things that directly impact people. And on the city council, you are able to solve issues and propose programs and ideas and just that really impact somebody's every single day. Like there's no on such a local level, everything that you do on the city council really impacts people regularly, whether it is fixing a traffic light, fixing a pothole, ensuring that roads and streets are safe, ensuring that people have the response that they need from the city on any issue. Those are all things that you can take care of as a member of the city council. So yes, it's very fulfilling. And then you can start things on a very small level. I'll give you a perfect example. While I didn't vote for the specific project, the city of Long Beach, as you know, was one of the first local municipalities to work on the plastic bag law, which really is very important for our environment. So it had passed before I was a member of the city council and had gone into effect when I was on the city council. But it's important legislation, and we can work as a member of the city council to ensure that those projects and things that really benefit our entire society are taken care of and really impact individuals every day.
Well, I think it's a great thing that people in Long Beach took the lead in Nassau County about the environment and not wanting, plastic bags and all sorts of terrible things to be found in our beaches, and syringes and all kinds of terrible things. And the fact that Long Beach was the leader and one of the first in all of Nassau County to take the lead on the plastic bags and show their passion for environment speaks well for the whole Long Beach community.
Absolutely, I agree. Look, it's a difficult. It was hard for some folks to get used to. We all forget our bags in the car at times, but it becomes part of the culture. And I think that it's important when you walk around Long Beach. You just don't see plastic bags on the ground. I think you'll see as you walk in and out of stores that people really have kind of become accustomed to bringing their own bags, and really it does benefit. We're surrounded by water, so anything that we can make sure doesn't end up in the water only benefits the wildlife that we share the water with, as well as just our entire environment. And as you can see, there are municipalities both locally throughout the state that are following Long Beach's lead. So again, while it was something that I didn't necessarily pass, I certainly think it's an important piece of legislation, and I think that members of the City Council continue to look for ways to develop legislation and policy that protects the environment. Few municipalities can say that they are completely surrounded by water and will be impacted immediately with any changes in the environment around us. You can only see the work that we've had to do in the bulkheading, the beach repair. I mean, it's right there. We're kind of in the first stage so anything that we can do to protect our environment is important, and I know it's a priority for all of the members of the council to look for additional policy and legislation that can be passed to continue that. But it was difficult for people to get used to, I think, but I think it's become part of the culture. And I think most people would say that in the end it was an important piece of legislation, and I would agree.
All right. Are you ready for the final question?
I am.
And we've enjoyed having Who Made That Enough. But 2018 was known for one big thing throughout the country: the year of the woman in politics. And I'm not talking the local level, I'm talking the state level, local level, all the way up to Congress, senators. It was a major influx of women's getting elected all over the country. And I thought, being elected city councilman, I'd love to get your perspective on why do you think women have made such a great impact? And now I'm reading that, for the next presidential election, we might have 4 or 5 women, legitimate contenders to President Trump. Already Elizabeth Warren is the first to announce, from senator from my state of Massachusetts. But talk about how would you describe the year of the woman?
I think just looking around immediately, we are represented by our congresswoman, a county executive who is, for the first time, a female. There are 2 members of the city council who are women. Just next door in the town of Hempstead, there's a female supervisor. I think that it certainly was a year of the women, and I hope that 2019 is as well. I look forward to calling somebody Madam President at some point. I think it would be a great step. Look, women and men in politics, it's a difficult job, but I think it's an exciting way to serve the community, and I think it's a great way for women to do so as well, and it's nice to see so many women stepping up and becoming elected and being recognized by their community as strong leaders. So I think 2019 will probably continue that trend, and I look forward to it.
All right. We want to thank May Diamond. Thank you for coming on the show. We'd like to have you back again in the future, and I think you did a great job. You've done a great job representing the city of Long Beach, and we're excited to hear more great things in the future. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
May Diamond, ladies and gentlemen.